one single push.
Yeah, this does look like the kind of map for it. But let us introduce our players before we get too carried away. We have ZenoAkoop playing as Hopper, which is a familiar color for him, in the northwest of the map, and in the southeast we have Blodir in blue as a Bella feed. Looks like both players are going for 7 farms so far. On a small map like this, it's not uncommon to go for a 7-farm Warren, I think, but since they know the map, they're just at each other's base, looking to see what the other one is doing.
Blodir has packed balloons, which kind of tells me that he wants to establish the mid control, having a strong point from which he could direct an attack and get his Fox out and to poke the ZenoAkoop. And ZenoAkoop obviously is going to mount a lot of pressure as fast as he can, in order, especially with the tier 2, not tier 1s.
Yeah, I think Zeno's tier 2 game could be really strong here. He'll have to control his skunks, ferrets, and falcons, depending on what he goes for, but he does have the pigeons to back it up. So far, Blodir is going for a heavier tier 1 army, with Zeno just scouting out what he was doing, and is going to add in some squirrels of his own. About the balloon Blodir has, I'm not sure there's any really good spots for it, so he will have to be careful where he places it, I think. But we will see.
It will ceremonially as a hard point for mounting an offensive and maybe protecting the closest expansion to his base.
I suppose he does also have a fox, so it could serve as a position to attack from with that fox. But ZenoAkoop, after getting 3 squirrel warrens, is going to go for his first skunk warren, with Blodir just adding on squirrels, it looks like.
Skunks should be very effective against mainly squirrel army.
We'll have to see if Zeno can control his skunk a little bit better than he did last game, where unfortunately Chip completely destroyed the skunks before they even got to do anything. No pigeons yet from either player.
High ground could be a lot to deal, but he decides to back off.
Doesn't quite feel confident to take a fight there. And
ZenoAkoop didn't have pigeons on the field yet, so
yeah, neither player actually has pigeons. There is not too much high ground though, so Blodir is actually going to go around, poking at this warren. This skunk is going down for Zeno. Blodir is going to stay in this fight, thinks he can take it. Maybe he can. The squirrels are actually not currently being gassed.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he took out most of Zeno's squirrels, but in the end is forced to retreat. I think it's a slight win for Blodir, but Zeno now has 2 skunks.
Yeah, ZenoAkoop reinforced a lot faster than Blodir. They are almost equaling in army value right now, but both players lost almost the exact same number of units. Blodir lost 1 more squirrel.
Zeno is going to try and use this road to micro his skunks. Unfortunately, gets stuck just a little bit. Blodir has his own skunks, which aren't taking any damage right now, are kind of running through this fog. Blodir is the first player to add on pigeons. Zeno still doesn't have any. I really liked how Zeno used the road there to bring his skunks forwards and backwards, and this is just the same we saw in the first game today. Blodir pulling his skunk back, living with 1 HP, getting healed up now, but Zeno is laying down a lot of gas. Yeah, pigeons
really
definitely
important.
Working out. Definitely the pigeons doing a good job here. Zeno has to go back and stabilize before he can add in any pigeons. Okay, so he sells a squirrel warren to be able to afford his pigeons, which is probably the right play. So now both players are exactly even in terms of warren counts. Zeno's going to try and get this base up. Have to see if he can get it. Blodir just puts down some gas, but Zeno can hide behind his mill and wait for those pigeons to come up. Of course, the skunks can't target mills anymore, so he will have to move forward and try and hit Zeno's units, rather than start putting gas down on this mill.
Blodir has a heavy pigeon lead, which is
Zeno's
really important in this game level.
Zeno's mill is pretty low, but Zeno does come forward here to try and defend it. A lot of gas around the area. But Blodir, he's got a 2nd pigeon warren now, and more squirrel warrens, though not more squirrels currently. And Zeno instead is going to opt for ferrets. Blodir's going to try and push forward again. This mill looks like it's going to go down. If Blodir just comes from the south again, it backs off just in time. With the skunk, there's a lot of gas in either direction, but both players are actually doing a really good job of staying out of the gas. Zeno pushing forward now, trying to seal the deal here. He's going to lose 1 of his skunks, with Blodir still having both of his alive. And with that, Blodir suddenly takes a lead in army value until Zeno's ferret is going to come out.
Yeah, And this army value graph has been almost exactly mirrored from both players, one player getting a tiny bit of advantage and then losing it in the next fight until that recent fight. Just then, as ZenoAkoop fell to about half the army value.
Yeah, now it's up to Zeno's signature ferrets to actually do a lot of damage here, but Blodir does have the pigeons to keep his skunks alive, so he's going to be going on the aggressive here, keeping his squirrels stationary and just moving his skunks back and forth, putting down the gas. But Zeno does have the pigeons to deal with that now. One skunk does get taken out for Blodir, so maybe that is going to be the sign for Blodir to retreat, keeping his skunk in front just a bit too long there. And one base play for both players, Zeno having lost an expansion. I don't know.
Zeno played with fire when he tried to add the ferret. It was really close, but now the ferret is on the field. It can actually kill squirrels without pigeons being able to heal it, and it can also kill skunks pretty effectively.
But Blodir is going to push forward into this, but I don't know if he has enough units for this. He just aggressively went for it, but Zeno is actually going to keep a skunk and the ferret alive, with Blodir currently only on 3 squirrels, having to sell a few more.
Keeping ferret alive with amazing micro was what could actually win the game here.
I think there was a mistake from Blodir, thinking he had more, was stronger than he thought he was. Tries to get up a balloon, but he has to sell it right away. Blodir is on his last legs here, doesn't have any skunks anymore, so he has to kill this skunk from Zeno, which he does. So now Zeno is on 3 squirrels and a ferret. Does have another skunk. Okay, so Zeno is stronger in tier 2. Both players are starving. Blodir on 47 seconds, with Zeno on about 5 seconds less. This mill is going to go down for Zeno. Don't know if Zeno can afford to lose his food. Zeno sold his skunks, it looked like. But he still has his ferrets, and now...
We'll boil down to micro. Can Blodir dodge the shots now?
He can dodge the skunk shots, but there are still a few ferrets from Zeno. Both players still starving. Blodir does manage to get a farm up, whereas Zeno has to wait just a little bit. Oh, Zeno feels like he is forced to sell his ferrets. Does get a farm up now, but Blodir has the lead in squirrel numbers here, and if this mill goes down, then it's going to be Blodir's game to take, and it looks like Zeno is going to give up here. So Blodir is going to take game 1 on Breadbasket in a very explosive game.
I think it boiled down to Blodir having pigeons first, which was really, really well. He had a pigeon lead for most of the game, and while he did lost on the offensive while attacking Zeno's base, the overall the pigeons stayed and healed and recovered a lot of food, which could be lost.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the pigeons coming into play a whole lot in these very explosive one base games, where the players have to keep their tier 2 alive as much as possible, because they only have so much food to work with before they run out. And it came really close, both players almost starving. So, Captain, looks like players have chosen the next map and spawn.
Yes, it looks like it's going to be Nomad's Pass. We're waiting to see which spawn ZenoAkoop is going to take.
Hopper.
It's probably seems to be the favored commander on Nomad's Pass, which we did see from Classic Metal versus Blodir, which was the one map that Classic Metal did win. And yes, ZenoAkoop is going to go for Hopper. Picks Bellafeed instead, but we'll fix it.
Just to remind, Nomad's Pass is the map where the Bellafeed, aka Blodir, has to attack, and Hopper can sit in defense. So let's see how Zeno uses. I would expect Zeno to pick an MG here and maybe, go with the ferrets and maybe even bring an owl, although I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, this was then one map which Blodir lost against Classic Metal, so we'll see if Zeno can repeat that. Looks like both players are in the army selection right here.
As mentioned, ZenoAkoop has MG, which he will use for defense.
Well, we've seen a lot of these players pick the MGs, but not really building them. Just confirming whether or not we actually have the correct map seed going. We may have to restart, we're not sure yet. A little bit tricky to figure out the exact way of doing this. Okay, looks like we do need a remake, because we forgot to set the seed. Not a problem. So, just need a minute until the players restart their game. So yeah, Blodir apparently not doing too well as Belafide on Nomad's Pass. Has lost a few games on it, and from what people have been saying, it seems to be the most imbalanced map in our pool. So you did mention that Belafide is on a timer.
It
So
is,
we'll
and
see if
all
you can
it
deal with
does,
it.
the Hopper has to hold. And actually, I played versus Blodir on that same Nomad's Pass, and I didn't hold the middle expo, which caused me to get overrun, and that went. So it's really important for Hopper to not make any mistakes in defense and really set up a hard point, and only use poking units to try to grind down the food abilities of Belafide. As we could see from the game before, the classic medal, which won, he did have a fox and he did have a strong place.
Yeah, it was a close game near the end, but Classic Metal did manage to pull it out with that fox play.
Mainly
So-
because the Belafide can't really get much economy going and attacking at the same time. The RTS keystone of balancing the army and the economy is really important on that map when mounting offensive there.
Alright, looks like Blodir is going to go for the Fox and Balloon pick again on the same map, which we did see from him earlier today. And with that, introduce our players once again. We have Blodir as Belafide in the northwest of this map. Which name I have forgotten. It is Nomad's Pass, yes. And ZenoAkoop to the south as Hopper. So, we will most likely going to see ZenoAkoop trying to defend and hold off Blodir's aggression until Blodir runs out of food or out of time, or something else completely could happen.
All right, no rush or cheese this game so far. Both players on 7 farms. We'll see whether they place a war in to go for 7 farm war, or whether they go for this safe 8 farm economy. We saw 8 farm economy on the last game that we saw Nomad's Pass on.
The distance between bases is pretty long, and another thing I've been wondering, I haven't seen much toads and much lizards these games. Have lizards gone out of popularity?
There's been quite a few toads actually, from what I've seen, but not necessarily to counter lizards. Especially Chip was using, in the last game against Zeno, he had 9 toads, which was surprising to me because Zeno did not have any lizards, but Chip did go with the toads and he ended up winning the game, so there is probably some value of getting a few explosions off, even if a few toads do end up dying. So it looks like both players are going to be mirroring builds here.
Yeah,
Going
there's
for
one for
the-
7 farm squirrel.
Okay,
There's
so
standard.
not quite. So yeah, just going to add in some squirrels, ZenoAkoop having a slight lead in army value, and he is going to just grab this base to the north of his main base to get some position on this map. But he only has MG-ness to really secure territory.
This is the gameplay I really love to see, because this mill is really, really important, and grabbing it early clearly indicates that Zeno wants to keep Blodir's advancement in check. Establishing a hard point there allows him to control all the 3 mills.
Very, very aggressive
Blodir.
MG-nest from Zeno here, and Blodir is going to
It's
try and
even too
contest
far,
it.
but
Yeah, it is going to get cleaned up, and Blodir is going to end up having to retreat from this fight, so Zeno is just going to replace the MG nest. So despite Zeno having to invest in some defense and a mill, looks like he can start securing his position now, and Blodir has to wait for his squirrel numbers to come back up. Whereas Zeno can start thinking about more units. Looks like he's going for tier 2, which is going to be ferrets to start poking away at the low grad on the other side of Stettler River.
Zeno is in really good shape unless he goes too greedy, and we saw the game versus Chip where he went too greedy. He made 3 farms, and that actually lost him the game. And Blodir is going to try and be as aggressive as possible.
Blodir going to try and go around these MG nests. Not the greatest engagement for him so far. Does have a squirrel lead, but in this quarter it's going to take a while for his units to actually get in range. Blodir is starting to add on pigeons, so Zeno is kind of starved for food. His ferrets are very delayed right now. Oh, Blodir's
The problem is
reinforcements.
that reinforcements are running into MG nests, even if Blodir
Yes.
makes and does
But
the good
Blodir
job with
has a
attacking
position
build.
in this map now. He only has a few squirrels alive, but he does have squirrels alive, which aren't being targeted by these MG nests, so Blodir has managed to infiltrate ZenoAkoop's base, but looks like he was just going to pull back now. trying to work around these MG nests, but having to go through the water is kind of awful for him. He does have a skunk out, so see if he can manage this skunk well enough. He's gonna start laying down some gas, but Zeno already has pigeons. He's going to take out an MG from Zeno. The skunk is quite healthy still, and the gas is starting to stack up. Skunk is on 2 HP, Blodir pulling it back just in time, and Zeno currently has no squirrels building still. Blodir's going to take out this Warren, and is contesting this mill right now. Skunk coming forward, putting down more gas. It does get taken out, so Zeno has a chance to push here. Was forced
Really
to sell his
interesting with
ferrets.
Blodir losing stuff to the MG nests there up on north.
Unfortunately, Blodir has lost quite a few squirrels to those MGs. And finally, it
I
looks like his offensive
5 or
gets taken
6
up.
even, and even Skunk got a bit tagged.
Yeah, and one of the MG nests is about half HP from those squirrels running by, and that is gonna be it. Blodir, his attack fails.
I would love to say the Blodir did a really good job, and Zeno almost lost due to his frontal. Like MGs were a bit too high there, but you know, in the end, Zeno somehow managed to get enough food for defense, and Blodir did not
the
manage
reinforcement
to
distance. The reinforcement distance for Zeno was a lot shorter.
and also,
and
Blodir was just bleeding reinforcements there.
Yes, very unfortunate. With the well, it's good from Zeno to secure the correct position there to make that happen. It looks like Zeno is going to be picking, Captain. Do we know?
Yes, looks like Zeno is going to pick the map. It's going to be Lizard Lagoon, and Blodir is going to choose the spawn. He's going to be Red Bellafeed, or Red Hopper, which means ZenoAkoop forced to take Blue Bellafeed in this swampy, bridgy, rivery map.
Okay.
This is interesting since the Blodir played Bellafeed, and we saw the Bellafeed there, and he played Bellafeed extremely well for that map, I think. As to recap, he did a defensive mill and set up his economy, not opting for one base pushes he's known for. And let's see if Zeno will make a similar plan to that as well.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting way that Blodir played Lizard Lagoon last time. So now looks like we'll need another lobby remake to set the seed properly, which is just fine. As I believe we have a 1-1 right now. Just going to be remaking the lobby. Oops, should not be doing that.
Not playing Zeno today, like context?
Not today. Alright, so we have the map seed set. That looks correct. We have players picking the correct commanders, and we just get AV Ultimate into ZenoAkoop's lobby, and then we are good to go. Apologies for these slight delays, but we are trying our best. And we are into the army selection. Players
As you can clearly see, the Zeno is going for defensive, build up an economy, then get an owl type of build.
Yep. Owl,
and Blodir picking chameleons, which is somehow usable on this map. It did have a little bit of impact there, since the chameleons have a surprise element to them.
This looks like the same units he went with playing this map before, although he is on the other side this time.
So it doesn't make them much worse for the map in general.
Same map. So players have switched commanders this time. It is 1-1, so even score right now. We have Blodir playing as Hopper in red this time to the south of the map, and ZenoAkoop as Bellafeed to the north on the map of Lizard Lagoon, which is known for its beautiful swamps, diverse fauna and flora, and its long games.
Of course, that water slowing both players down as they run through it. The units will be slowed down as well. Of course, to go across the bridges to keep their speed up. Or pick at your enemy as they come across the field.
Yep, definitely the turrets and sniper balloon could be very strong on this map, which we did see in the other game. And it looks like we did have an observer crash, so bear with us, stream. We're not going to restart the game, we just have to get AV in the game and try and sort this out if he can catch up. Just a moment. Then
Well,
again,
nothing
we,
interesting has been happening so
yeah.
far.
Then again, if we do have to remake, at least we don't have to deal with the map being in someone else's favor because we are playing the map draft. Just have to see if AV can get back into this game.
Both players are stacking squirrels.
Yep. Just have to figure out. We're only 2 minutes in, so we may have to remake. Okay. We have the stream again. Just need to figure out if we can catch up. Okay, we are gonna have to remake. Right, that is fine. Nothing really has happened, so unfortunately, shall blame Andy Schatz or Dexter for this. It is fine. So, hope we don't crash next time.
Game is in alpha.
These things will happen. Alright. The map seed is still set. We have everyone back in the lobby, so let's hope everything goes fine this time. Do apologize for the slight hiccups, but this one is completely out of our control. Someone report the bug, thanks. Alright. So I doubt either player will really change their lineup here. Blodir is going to go for the same thing. If he picks the balloon here, there we go. Alright, so let's get this game actually started. Third time's the charm. We have once again Blodir to the south playing as Hopper and ZenoAkoop to the north as Belafide.
And both players will be looking to get their expansions early.
Yes,
Hopefully
definitely.
we'll see the greedy two-base play and having a lot bigger fight than we used to.
Definitely the right map for a bit of a slower play, as we did see in the other gameplay on this map between Classic Metal and Blodir. See if it ends up being a repeat. Although Blodir has the Foxies on the other side this time, and has a slightly harder time going into the expansion from Belafide. Alright, so it looks like we're good.
A lot of dancing going on.
It's very important. Both players going for... Oh no, ZenoAkoop went for 7 farm Warren, Blodir's going to go for 8 farm.
Yeah, interesting little bit of mind game there. ZenoAkoop waiting to see whether Blodir would put down a Warren or put down a farm. And as soon as he saw Blodir put down the farm, went back and placed his own Warren to go for 7 farm. Which does mean that unless Blodir is really good about his timings, it's not going to know whether Zeno went for 8 or 7 farm Warren.
Probably not going to matter that much in the grand scheme of things though, as we have seen not too many early fights in all of our series so far. Players favoring to go for a strong tier 1 force with some tier 2, maybe even
Zeno
tier 3.
wanted to get an expo, and he will get an expo as soon as the Hopper leaves the field.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to get this expansion up. There we go. Delayed Blodir the scouting information for as long as possible. And Blodir isn't going to expand, he's going to add skunks instead.
I think he may try to exploit the winning place there. Like, he sees that if the Zeno is going for expansion, he could maybe take a skunks, take pigeons, and just go and kill it.
Yeah, it looks like Blodir is actually going to try and secure his forward base rather than take the base on the high ground. There are a few good spots for sniper balloons here. So maybe he's just looking to defend here with skunks, eventually pigeons, and high amounts of squirrels, or he's going to place a sniper balloon very far forward rather than be more conservative with it and go for a high ground position.
He realized that the Zeno really wants to play greedy, and he won't really contest the balloon spot.
Yeah, it's far too late for Zeno to contest this now, so Blodir is just going to get this up, and he can grab bases behind it. Meanwhile,
and I don't think Zeno really doesn't mind that, because you know, he can get an economy going, and I do think that the Zeno is being a little bit too greedy, since Blodir hasn't added any of his farms now, but
Blodir's going to go for a fox already, though. It's about 3/4 done on the Warren.
Yeah,
the
So-
fox covered with the balloon and some pigeons can definitely kill those farms up there.
And
Yeah,
Zeno
Blodir-
is... Go on.
Blodir sold his one of his squirrel warrens to get that fox out, and ZenoAkoop has pulled ahead even further. So Blodir had the advantage, sold those squirrels, got that fox out, and now it's about stagnant. And ZenoAkoop's
Yeah,
pulled
the
ahead.
fox is going to have to do a lot of damage to make it worth it, but there are 2 MG nests in a really good position for
And
Zeno
Owl.
already.
Owl coming
Yes.
as well.
Owl is coming out for Zeno. It's going to be later than the fox, of course, but if Zeno can get 1 or 2 owls out here, it's going to be really strong. He's going to opt for some skunks, and Zeno doesn't have the farms in front yet. Cleverly waiting with those until he can push Blodir back. Zeno going for some more falcons and has an MG nest all the way on the east side of his base, just in case there is a fox running by. Owl does start for Zeno, but the fox is out for Blodir. It's going to be up to the front right now.
A couple
see if he
pigs will
can do
die.
some damage. No, not quite in range just yet. Does pick off a falcon, which is really good as well. There's a 1 farm going down for Zeno. Zeno maybe not conservative enough with his farm placement, only losing 1, so it may be fine. But losing a falcon is definitely not something he wanted to happen. But now the fox can't really go anywhere.
Owl should be there in 10 seconds.
Blodir is going to try and do more with this fox. Does get another pig. It's very nice. And another one. Alright, so definitely doing damage with this fox here. Blodir getting some farms of his own in the meantime, but the owl is up for Zeno, so the fox has some... is going to have some difficulty targeting valuable units. Gets a shot off on the skunk. Skunk is going to live. Zeno does not have pigeons though, so it's going to take a while for the skunk to heal up.
Yeah, Blodir had the advantage for a little bit until that owl came out. Now both players are exactly even in terms of net worth.
Zeno has to be careful to not lose his commander. Okay. There's another balloon up for Blodir. Both balloons are actually fairly healthy. The owl did die, and looks like Blodir actually lost all of his tier 1 units, so Zeno is rolling over Blodir.
Falcons did the most job there.
Yeah, Falcon's putting out a lot of damage. Blodir lost most of his tier 1, does have his fox surviving, which is important. But Zeno, I don't know if he has the economy to do this more than once, because he did lose those farms. Blodir's going to try and poke with his fox, but there is still that MG nest in a really good position, so it is up to Zeno to try and make a push again, I think, because the fox isn't going to do its usual thing with poking and prodding.
Yeah, Zeno
But
just
where
barely
does Zeno
ahead.
go from here? Blodir didn't lose any economy in that last push and is even adding on 2 farms, whereas Zeno, he has to make this push work. He's going to lose a few pigeons, so Blodir needs to make this fox work. The owl is going to pop, so Zeno just opting to let it die as soon as possible, getting the mice in there. Lots of squirrels still alive. Falcon's dishing out a lot of damage, so if Zeno doesn't manage to kill this base, then Blodir's going to be very far ahead, but it looks like he's going to have just enough units still alive. Most falcons are dead, so now Blodir is going to be starving. Does still have the fox life. It's going to have 5 HP, 6 HP. Still a lot
Not
of
too much place to
squirrels.
retreat.
And the fox does go down, so now that is going to be ZenoAkoop taking game number 3, going up 2-1 against Blodir. That was a really aggressive owl play, I have to say, and it definitely paid off.
Excellent timing from Zeno. He won that first engagement, even with 2 sniper balloons in place. And then second engagement, those sniper balloons just weren't there anymore. And the fox was picking away. It picked off those 2 falcons, which was excellent. It was 1-2, skipping all of the squirrels, but then got caught up in the massive squirrels in front. And that was pretty much just the end of the base. From there on, it was Zeno's game to take.
And Zeno just cleaned up most of Blodir's tier 1 army. The only thing he had left near the end of it was the fox and the chameleon for Blodir. So
I like to
Blodir-
speculate that if the Blodir had built an expansion in the back to place his farms,
It's possible,
maybe
yes.
gone a bit smoother because the fox would have a much more place to operate, you know.
yeah, if he just had
farms
the
he wouldn't be put in starving mode instantly.
if he had the mill forward to place the balloons, because I think that was a good play, but maybe put another mill down in the back to actually place the farms on.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like our next map will be the Trench.
Yes, indeed. Everybody loves the trench.
It's quite the map for a game like Tooth and Tail.
Just waiting for Blodir to choose if he's going to be Hopper. There we go. Blodir is going to be Bellafide Blue in the east, which means ZenoAkoop is going to be Hopper Red in the north.
Okay, looks like we do have the seed set, so we are good to go. Players are switching commanders once again. Keep in mind that due to the nature of the map draft system, the colors will swap around every now and then, so we try to keep you updated. So we will have Blodir playing in blue this time, in red, ZenoAkoop up 2-1 in this best of 5. So if he takes this map, he will be advancing to the grand finals to face against Chip from Space again, same as he did last week. So we will see if that ends up happening or if Blodir can pull it back. Blodir, what do you think the players with these chameleons here?
I think from general tanking, the chameleons can prove a surprise, and they're good with dealing MGs. And I think especially if like a player like Zeno likes to get ferrets, likes to get MGs, and likes to push aggressively, chameleons can provide a lot of tanking power and can overpower squirrels. They're good against squirrels. They're good against mostly anything. And you can see the players aren't really picking toads anymore, which is really strange since the lizards have gone out suddenly out of favor. And no lizards, no toads, and chameleons are good.
Alright, so we have a fourth game of the series live on the Trench. ZenoAkoop playing in red as Hopper this time to the northwest of the map, and in the south, or more or less in the east, we have Blodir as blue. Players have switched color once again, and it's always really interesting for me to see how players develop their own little metagame within a best of 5 or best of 7, rather than going with what is more standard.
I think that's one of the skill ceilings of the Tooth and Tail, that you're able to play short matches. The game is designed that way, so you need to adjust to your enemy, given that there's a lot of units to pick from, and you can only pick 6, and you try to find the best deck, not that you want to play, but what works best against your opponent.
Definitely a lot of mind games going on, and thinking between those 30 seconds that you have between each match, you have to decide how you're going to change your strategy, if you even want to change your strategy, and whether or not your opponent is going to change their strategy. So,
all right, we actually saw ZenoAkoop go for 6-farm Warren, 6-farm Squirrel Warren, if I'm not mistaken. Went for normal 7.
So maybe Zeno wants to get aggressive on the map, on this map again, with ferrets, as we saw. Because he did play Chip on the same map, I do believe.
Yeah, he was on the other side. He did have those ferrets striking across the trench.
He was probably looking to do the same this time.
Yeah.
Is Zeno, unlike Chip last game, Zeno's opting for warrants on the low ground, and is just going to add on squirrels rather than going for tier 2, whereas Blodir is going to be the one to put down a tier 2 warrant first, it looks like.
I think the deck from Zeno suggests that he's willing to go for a longer game. He did pick an owl, and he's placing his warrants closer, suggesting that he's opting for a more defensive game.
But it is going to be Blodir put down a fox warren really quickly,
but it was a fake out.
Zeno scouted it, so Blodir sold it and is going to go for tier 1 instead, because Zeno is obviously going to be looking to punish what he thinks is an early tier 3. But Blodir has smartly changed his strategy. But is it going to be in time? Because Zeno does have a lot of squirrels. He's fighting into the pigs though, so we'll see if Zeno can overpower this. It's going to take out 1 farm, but Zeno squirrels are fairly low. This is just squirrel on squirrel combat right now. Zeno has a few alive, might be taking out a 2nd farm just about, and is then going to have to retreat.
And Blodir doesn't have tier 3.
Yeah, Blodir doesn't have a tier 3 to follow it up with, so definitely strong timing for Zeno there. And Zeno has more warrants currently, and the pigeons are already out for Zeno as well, so Blodir, I don't know if he can keep fighting this. Zeno has his own pigeons, excuse me. So Zeno's just going to go in again, taking out another farm, taking out most of Blodir's squirrels, And with this pigeon support, I think he can stay here for a while. Looking to threaten another pig does go down. Blodir's on 5 squirrels, Xeno's on 6, but obviously Xenos is going to come in slower. Okay. So again, Blodir has to sell his economy. Xeno, no, he's not done. He's going to keep going. No pigeon support though. So he's going to back off just a little bit. Xeno has to be careful not to overextend here, but I don't know if he even can overextend
He
at this
has
point.
healthy reinforcements. It's not like going, and every second he can afford even to take losing battles here, since
Yes, he is
he
ahead.
won 3 farms and he killed 1
Alright.
farm more. So